Well, hi everybody. I trust everybody's well. I'm well. Here we are again in the garden. I've got one or two things coming up now, especially the Bakki River. One or two's been waiting to see, and the protein skimmer. But we'll nip down and have a look down the big shed for a start, see what's going on in there. I'll bring you up to date how things are going on in there, and see if we can get that Bakki River sorted out this time. We've just got a lull in the rain. It's still windy and it's still very cold, so I'm going to go down there and get in the shed because it's not very warm out here, especially with this wind. What I do want to show you just quickly, a little tip for anybody that doesn't want to lay out on the cost of a new miter saw. This should help one or two of you, hopefully. Obviously a lot of you will know about it, but there must be one or two out there that don't, so I'll just mention this quickly. If you're doing a lot of pipe work like this, and you're like me, you can't get a straight end on your pipe, I could use, which a lot of you probably will use, I could use my miter saw. But this miter saw, I don't know whether I can show you, if I bring it down, has got a really coarse blade on it, and it does tend to burst the plastic if I try to go a little bit too fast, and it can burst the pipe. The blade is actually for cutting steel, wood. It's supposed to cut anything, but it's well risky on plastic pipe, I'll tell you. You can break the side out of the pipe, so I don't tend to use that. What I do tend to use, because like I say, I can't cut a straight end for toffee, so what I do tend to use is one of these, and they're just so cheap. It's a miter box. It's for cutting 45-degree angles on there, and basically just mark your pipe, put it in like so, put it on the mark wherever you're going to cut it, get your saw, drop it in and cut it off, and that cuts it perfectly straight. You get an absolute straight end on it every time, and that's what I use now all the time, and they're just so cheap and it just makes a proper job really. I've had this one years, crikey, it's still got the price tag on it. So if I take a look at that, I don't know whether you'll see it, but it cost me £3.65, and that was some years ago, so they're probably a £5 or £6 now, but well worth the money. And if you do want to cut any angles on wood, you can always cut them at 45-degree, or like I say, it does put a nice straight end on a piece of pipe, whereas if I try to cut them freehand, I'm totally useless. They do tend to come off at an angle. But yeah, they're well worth the money. You get a lovely straight cut, and it's so easy. It's just as easy as putting it through the miter saw. Just a quick tip, thought it might help one or two of you. Lots of you will know about it. I've just put the heater on. I hope that's not making too much noise. That's a good little heater, that. It just warms this shed up nicely once it gets going. But I've got that on. We're going to warm things up a little bit in here. What I did do the other day was a water test on the actual protein skimmer, and I seem to have a problem with these where they actually join the brass taps. The seals they come with, if I can show you, are quite thin, and they're not sealing up against the brass tap. They should do on the brass taps really, because it's a nice flat surface for them to seal on, so I really don't understand why they're not sealing. But what I have done, I've got in this one, if I can get it out, I've found a thicker rubber. It's actually wedged in there now, can't seem to get it out, but it is a thicker rubber, so it should seal better. So I'm hoping to get that sorted out today. It's a nice thick rubber seal, that one, whereas the others are really sort of thin. I don't know whether you can see that one up against it, so I'm hoping that's what it is. That's why it's not sealing. I did try, as you can see, I did try putting a bit of thread tape on it, but that didn't work, so gonna try the thicker rubber seal. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm just making them taps seal. So I've got that job to do. As you can see, we're in a bit of a mess. I've got seals all over the place. This is what I've collected over the years, so all these different seals and bits and pieces. Got drawers full of them, which always come in handy actually. But that's that at the moment. I'm going to press on with that, but what I want to do is get this Bakki River in and sort it out. That's the main thing, so I'm going to leave this for now and press on with that, hopefully. It's not very warm and it's a bit windy out there, but it's got to be done, so I'm going to take the bull by the horns and get stuck into it. Okay guys, I've taken the ends off the two shelves I'm going to now try to get all this changed over, get the river out and the new one in. It's blowing a gale outside, so it's a bit rough out there, but what I've got to do now is get these lids off, take the zipper racks out and get it put in some water outside just to keep it wet for now, and then get this one cut out and the other one put in. I'm going to have to get a move on, so here we go. Let's get this thing changed over. The zipper axe is all in and it's all up and running, all looking good. Nice flow over the weir, as you can see, Siporax has just nicely filled it up. Perfect level of Siporax actually. There's 50 litres in there, by the way, of Siporax, which was about £200 I think. It's not cheap stuff, but I have to say good stuff isn't cheap. But that's it all in, up and running. Well pleased with that. Good flow through it, good return to the pond. I've lifted it another 1.5 inches. I'm just trying to find the happy medium. I've still got the tap shut down slightly on it, as you can see, so I could open it up more, which means I could lift it and get an even better return to the actual pond. So I could actually push water through it faster if I lifted it that little bit more. As I say, I'm slowing the flow, so well pleased with it. I don't know whether you guys will be able to see it. I don't think it will show up on camera, but this is why I put the baffles in. I can see the actual water rising up here and going across and out the weir. The water does rise up above the actual media. So what I'm saying is you've got to be so careful. That's why I put these baffles in, to force the water back down. I didn't want it coming up where it comes in and just running across the top of the media and going over the weir, because that's a total waste of everybody's time, that is. So I'm really playing with the idea now of dropping another baffle in here to push this water back down, because it's coming up here and just going straight over the weir. I don't know whether the camera will pick that up. Water will always find the easiest route. It's very good at that. But it's all in. I haven't found any leaks at all, so that's all running well. We'll give it a good run before I say didn't get any leaks, because they can appear after an hour or two, but I haven't at the minute. So everything's good. That's in, that's it up and running. The floor's a little bit wet, that's got to dry out, and I've also now got to clear all this mess up. It did take me longer than I thought. I thought it'd take me 1.5 hours, and it took me 3 hours with the messing about, so it did take longer than I thought. But it's just a matter of clearing up now, getting this floor dried out. A lot of it has dried out because it was all wet. I was going to fetch the actual protein skimmer up and put it in the corner there, but I don't want to put it there while that floor's wet. I want that floor to dry out first and then I'll fetch it up, so that might be tomorrow. But I've just got this lot to clean up now, get everything sorted out. I did get the ends off the shelf, I got them cut off ready for it, so I've still got all my stuff up there, all packed tight. And I've also got to clean all that mess up out there as well. I've got a load of junk out there to clear up now. So I'll get that done and it'll be my tea time, I think. Boy, it's been cold today, especially with my hands in that water. It's been freezing and the wind's been blowing. It's dropped a little bit now, but the wind's been blowing. Anyway guys, I'm going to get this mess cleared up. Now if I stand here, if I can get the light, the reflection of the light, yeah, just there, I hope you can see that. The water is actually coming up right behind that wall and just flowing across the top of the media, and it's doing that all the way along. See if I can get a bit closer. And it's doing that all the way along, it's coming up. This is why I put them wall baffles in there, to push the water back down again. It's stopping it going straight across the top of the media, and I hope you can see that. Get the reflection of the light in it. You can see it just flowing across the top of the media and over the weir. That was the idea of these baffle walls, and it's doing that all the way across. I can't get the light all the way across, but it is doing that all the way across, and it really shows it there. Well, what a change in the weather, guys. This is the day after I fitted the Bakki river. The sun's shining, there's hardly a breath of wind. It's absolutely magnificent. Beautiful weather. Can't believe it's the day after yesterday when it was so rough. I'm having to take the video from the other end of the yard because the sun is blasting down. It's still quite low in the sky. But let's go up here and we'll have a look. As you can see, I've got the top off my pond. I've took the pipes off my pond return to bang a bit of air in the pond and move a bit of dirt down the bottom end, which it does. This was quite dirty up this end, and it's moved it all down towards the bottom drain. That's what that's in aid of, so I've got both them off blasting away. I've got a lovely flow back to the pond. Excellent now. So let's have a quick look in the filter house. As you can see, I've got the protein skimmer up here ready to go. Bit of a cock up there, I'm afraid. The bottom pipe of the inlet, I'd worked it out on the way the pipes were. Never even thought about them raising the Bakki River, and it's worked out right in the wrong spot. So I've got to work that out. Now in here, everything is working really well. It's been running overnight now, as you can see. The floor's all dried out, everything's dry, there's no water anywhere. So we've got no leaks. We'll just whip the top off the Bakki River for you to have a look in there. And there we go, guys. I hope you can see I've got a lovely flow over the weir. Real good flow over there. The level in there is spot on. Great stuff. Got a good clean out as well, as it happens. So it's got rid of a lot of the dirt out of it. So I'm set up for the summer really. But everything in there is working spot on. I'm well pleased with it. It's going really well. I'm just trying to work out how I'm going to get this protein skimmer in here now. I've worked it out so one went underneath and the other one went above, but now I've got this feed pipe, this one, it hits the inlet pipe, so I might have to lift the protein skimmer a little bit just to get clearance on that pipe. But everything is working out really well. Everywhere's dry, no leaks, so I'm really pleased with it, and a good flow through it. Great stuff. Right, well the protein skimmer is in position, nicely tucked away in the corner there. That's just where I wanted it, so it's in. Now it's just a matter of working on it and getting it plumbed, which is the minor detail. Then it's getting it to work. That's the thing. So it's how it's going to work and how it's going to operate really is the big question. But there it is, it's all in and waiting to be plumbed. Okay, I've brought it outside so that we can do a water test on it, and it's up near my back door actually because it's really windy around the side. So I've got it up here. We have actually got it full of water and all is looking good at the moment. I don't see any leaks whatsoever. So I'm going to leave it there a while, but I think we've cracked it. Unfortunately that bottom tap won't come round upright, it won't turn round far enough, it starts to spin the bulkhead. That is fully tight, so unfortunately I've got the bulkhead in the wrong position on that, but never mind. But I don't see any leaks anywhere else at all. I'm quite pleased with it. It seems to be working quite well. So great stuff, we seem to have got that. But like I say, I'll leave it there an hour. See if anything seeps through. If not, I think we've cracked it, and it's just about where it'll be at working pressure. I think we've finally got it. The bit that I thought might leak was round the bottom where the join is to that sheet of PVC, but all looks good round there as well. So I'm really pleased with that. All seems good all the way around it. I don't see any water at all. Great stuff. Just a quick look at the fish, if you can see them. I did actually get, I don't know whether you'll see it over there, you should be able to, my skimmer up and running again to take a bit of rubbish off the top. There was quite a bit of rubbish floating about on the top, bits and pieces and bits they'd torn off the lilies, but that's up and running again now, and that's cleared that up in no time. But just a quick look at the fish, they're all looking good. Can't wait to get these covers off and have a good old clean out and a clean up. See me pond again, it'll be nice. But they're all looking good in there, everything looks fine. I don't see any problems, thank goodness, but we haven't had a hard winter. Water wise, the worst I've got down to is about 7 degrees. This old Chunky, he's always got to be in the video for some reason. I really don't know why. If ever I come here and start videoing, he's always about. But all's good in the pond, quite happy with the way things are going. I just wish we can get spring here and get stuck into some serious pond work. The pond temp at the moment's down to 7 degrees, so they're not getting fed at the moment. They're having to go without. If it comes up a little bit towards the 8 degrees, I shall give them a little bit of wheat germ. But all's looking good, like I say, at the moment. Okay, there it is, back in the filter house again, back in its corner after the second water test. I'm not quite sure when I'll get back on working on that again, so I might have to leave that a while. I've got quite a few other jobs to do. It depends on the weather really. While the weather's good I want to get a lot of outside stuff done. But we'll see, I'll get back on it as soon as I can. But that's it, back in where it is going to be fitted. It's all ready to be connected. I've just got to sort out the air input, what sort of air input I want. But apart from that, it's all ready for the off. Well guys, that brings us to the end of another video, I'm afraid. I'd just like to thank you all for your support. You're absolutely brilliant, you guys. And all it leaves me to say is thanks for watching. You all take care, and as always, happy ponding.